Hi, I'm Rob. I make the battery, that's what I do. And I'd like to point out, because someone on YouTube was saying that Alex Morrison was teaching people to wrap the thumb around the shaft, 1934, that's 90 years ago, and he did. And people kind of forget that stuff, because everybody, when they teach you, put the thumb on the shaft and all that stuff, golf becomes incredibly difficult. And the reason why is a few reasons. One, you have to start doing this with the wrist, right? Someone asked me, Mike Malaska was telling people to wrap the thumb around the shaft and the wrist doing this and right, and whatever, right? But then he tells people to do that again. And when you teach something, that's what people do in golf. They teach you a concept and then they explain it conceptually. But everything we do is actually a skill. And when you put your thumb on the shaft, you build so many habits. One, because you have to start doing a hell of a release, otherwise you hook it. Second thing is that your arm wants to go this way. So when you hit the ball, your arm wants to go that way. You can see that with Tiger Woods and other true pros. Their arms is doing this instead of going here, right? You're stuck, and you have to fix it. Because when you put the thumb on the shaft, you create two new directions at impact. Do Mike Malaska tell people that? No, he doesn't, because he doesn't know. He thinks he's supposed to do that. You create two extra directions at the impact you have to fix now, and control, and coordinate, and time. Do you think Mike Malaska knows what he's doing? No, because he's teaching you concept that doesn't fucking work. What you want to teach people is to build skills, and skills are built by feedback, by difference and exaggeration. So if I do my grip, I wrap my thumb around the shaft, I have thicker grip, I use Hans' version of the grip with fingers on my shaft and all that stuff. And I want to do a shift. Now, here's the funny thing about it. If I lift the club up and keep my body still, I'm always going to hit the ground. Now, all I need to do to fix all this is just make sure I'm, turning. All I'm doing here is to let the club drop and turn. And I hit the ball automatically without thinking about it. And the weight shift is automatic, the weight transfer is automatic. But it only works if you wrap the thumb around the shaft. If I put the thumb on the shaft, I can do the same thing, but now my brain doesn't want to do a weight shift naturally. They don't tell you that. Did you tell people that, Mike Malaska? Does he tell you that? Lee Como and C Motion, do you tell people that? That's what happens when you put the thumb on the shaft? Do people understand why the struggle with weight shift and weight transfer? People in golf, gurus on YouTube and elsewhere have to teach you a weight transfer weight that you've been doing your whole life. I'm gonna do this. You can do this naturally, you've been doing your whole life. It only becomes difficult when you put the thumb on the shaft. They don't tell you that, right? So use my grip and Hans' version of it. Then start doing ships, keep your body still, and then turn. Boom. And you will find the ball goes straight every fucking time, and you have no problem hitting those 15, 20 meter, or 10, 15 meter shots. And you can just change the loft of the club and do the same shipping or pitching, whatever it is. And then you start, doing pitches or whatever. You start working on that the same way. And then you do, of course, the tilt and lift. Now, most people, when they teach you golf, because the thumb on the shaft on stuff, they start telling you to rotate inside and all that other stuff, and to rotate and get in a great position. And now you're stuck. Now you have losing power, because 90% of every male amateur hits 250 yards on the shoulder. 90%. That's 90 people out of 100. Those 10 people left, they're scratch players. Yes, you know that, right? So what you want to do then is to understand lift or tilt. There is no inside action. All that will happen naturally anyway. I had people, members telling me that when they were doing that, it feels bad. Yeah, I know. You have to keep doing it, it feels good. And they said, well, my position is supposed to be there. And I had this guy asking me, he's like 60s, I think it was around his 50s or something like that, whatever. And I said, since he's a lefty, I posted a swing, top position with Phil Mickelson. And I said, what do you think? Because he and Phil Mickelson had the same top positions. But he thought it was wrong because It didn't match the golf police on Golf RX and Sandtrap golf forums and other people's golf experts view of how it's supposed to be. You get misinformation, you're misled, and they don't teach you skills. So I had a guy a few years back, he'd been playing golf for a year, that was teaching him the shipping and was doing this: keep your body still, drop the club, then do that. Chipping and whatever else becomes easy as pie. Now, if you have had a thumb on the shaft for a long time, you can't do this because your brain wants to hit the ball. Because your brain is fighting physics and your body's natural motion, because they teach you to have bad habits in modern golf. As soon as you teach this, a thumb on the shaft, you create bad habits. By default, you can't avoid it. Everybody I see to shift to my grip, they do the same fucking mistakes based on that. Bad habits. They haven't learned the skills needed to move the body properly. That's what happens. What you want to do is to test and practice until you do things properly. If you do something like that, which I did there, with the thin, do you know why? Because I grip a little bit tighter. If I loosen the grip a little bit and do the same thing, you get a better shot. So now I have to find, the first one was too tight and the second one was a little bit too loose. I know the difference because I can feel the difference. Can you feel the difference when you do that? Probably not. Do you know why? Because when they put the thumb on the shaft, here's what happens. A lot of other things, two directions, but now when your club is going away from you, it increases your grip pressure by default. It means that you're going to grip the club tighter as you try to release it. A lot of amateurs build that habit because that's what happens with physics. Oh, my grip is tighter. Now you build a bad habit for amateurs and to pros, by the way. So now you have to learn to fight that and fix that by not adding grip pressure or grip tension, whatever you call it. But that happens because of physics. If you grip the club like I'm teaching people to do, using Hans' version of it, what happens is that I can adjust how much this is because it's more natural now, right? So the first one was a little bit too tight, the second one was a little bit too loose. Let's see if I can make it, optimal for whatever task this is. I would say that was pretty much optimal for me. A great job. Anyway, I'm too tired now. I'm not going to hit more balls. I'm too tired to do this. I have an ME CFS, long COVID. That means that a virus hits your nervous system, fucks your body up, so you get tired all the time, you get fatigued, you get brain fog, you have a hard time concentrating over long time periods, and I get exhausted, and I have problems coordinating things like, hitting golf shots and all that stuff. And as I teach people, when you hit a great shot, the learning actually happens after I did that. Most people don't think about that stuff. So what you want to learn is a skill, and the skills are learned by understanding what, when everybody teaches the thumb and the grip, Mike Malaska doesn't understand this, right? That you have to increase your grip pressure to impact by default. So most of you amateurs, you build a bad habit now, and you can't release. You can't weight shift or weight transfer because the thumb on the shaft. And if you are going to go this way, you can't really weight shift because this forces your body back by default. That's what they teach you. And no one can explain it to you out there in the golf world. They all teach you that. And it's incredibly difficult to do. Why do you think everybody struggles at golf except the people I teach? Because when I teach people, they become, oh, this is easy. They say, yeah, I know. And they kind of go like, but it's supposed to be difficult. No. Only if you put the thumb on the shaft like everybody teaches you, then it becomes difficult. Because then it creates so many problems, and they don't know it. Why do you think they keep teaching that? Because they don't know anything else. And they don't know what happens. Create unidirectional impact. You can't phase shift into weight transfer naturally because your brain wants to do this by default. And they don't know why. And they can't explain it. I can go into depth of that, but I'm too tired to do that now. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen and everybody else, I'm Rob. I'm teaching skills, not that conceptual bullshit everybody believes is good for you. Just make you frustrated playing shit golf.